Today I'm going to show you how to format a personal business letter using a block style. A letter written by an individual to deal with business of a personal nature is called a personal business letter. You would use a personal business letter if you were going to write to a company looking for a particular job, sending a resume, or if you wanted to write for a scholarship or even apply for college. The personal business letter can be found on page 78 in your textbook, so please open up your textbook to page 78. The different parts of the business letter are noted on this page. First off, let's set up our page. You will recall when we created our memo, we were to hit no spacing so we could fix the spacing issues that are set up automatically in Word 2010. There is another option to this, so if you choose not to hit no spacing, you can change your styles. So if you change your style, click on your down arrow, go to your style sets, and believe it or not, Word 2003 offers style sets that has no spacing and gives you a 12-point font, which is required, just like in the memo. We want to pick a plain font. We like a serif font for this, so you can use Cambria or you can use Times New Roman. That's Cambria or Times New Roman. So notice that I have my 12 points. I have my serif font. The no spacing was automatically selected for me. And if in my paragraph group you want to check your line spacing, see how the one is selected? So we're really good and ready to go. Personal business letters have the same top margin as a memo, 2 inches. Don't forget, we already have 1-inch margins all the way around the document. If you want to check your margins, go to Page Layout, Margins. Notice our normal margins are 1 inch all the way around. Therefore, we just have to hit the Enter key to bring our cursor down to the 1-inch mark. There we are, we're at the 1-inch mark. Look at your ruler. If your ruler is not displayed, don't forget to click on this icon in the upper right-hand corner above your scroll bars in order to view your rulers. Let's begin. The first part to a personal business letter is the return address. The return address is your address. So let's key what they have in the book. If you were going to be writing this, you would use the address where you live, starting with your street. Then you would type your town where you live. I'm going to follow the book, comma, space, the 2-state abbreviation, space, and then the zip code. Now you'll notice in the book that the zip code has a 4-digit extension that gets it right to the location of this home. After the return address, we key the date. To key the date, you can type it, but I want to show you something cool. Under the Insert ribbon, in the Insert ribbon, we have a date feature. Look over in your text grouping. It says Insert Date and Time in your text group. If you click on Insert Date or Time, you can pick your style. We're going to go with the third one down. And the reason why I like this is if you begin your letter but you don't finish it until the next day or thereafter, the date will automatically be updated for you. So the Insert Date feature is a cool feature. Let's use that instead of the February 15 date. Okay. Notice in the book it has the arrow with the 4. That means hit the Enter key 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. That will leave 3 blank lines. On your home ribbon, you're going to notice that you have this paragraph symbol. That means to show or hide specific symbols, and it will show you that you would have 3 blank lines. I'll come back to this at the end of the letter. Now we're going to key our letter mailing address. This is the person to whom you are writing. you would always include the person's name first. Include their title. In this case, it would be Ms. Underneath, their street address. Where do they live? Always write out avenue, road, and street. Abbreviations shouldn't be used in formal business writing. We follow it with the name of the town, comma, space, the two-state abbreviation, and their zip code. If you happen to know the 4-digit extension, then please include that. After the mailing address, we're going to type a salutation. Hit the Enter key 2 times, 1, 2, leaving one blank line. That's what we call a double space. Our salutation always is Dear. Now, do you know this person on a first name basis? If you do, you would write their first name. If you do not, then you would write Ms. Hutchinson. So ask yourself, are you friends with the person to whom you are writing? If so, feel free to call them by their first name. If not, a more formal salutation is appropriate. We are not using any punctuation after the salutation or the complimentary close that comes later in the letter. So leave the punctuation off. This is called open punctuation. Again, we said we are going to key a block letter. So we're not going to indent, and everything is going to be at the left. Hit the Enter twice, leaving one blank line. That's making a double space. We are now going to key the body of the letter. Pause this video and type. Notice when you type the body of the letter, all the paragraphs are at the left margin, no tab indent, and you double space between paragraphs just like you did in your memorandum. In addition, the book has you spacing twice after a period. We don't do that anymore. That is an old book, so we only leave one space after a period. We're done with the body of the letter. We now want to key in our closing. To key your closing, double space after the last paragraph, leaving one blank line. Type your complimentary close. A common complimentary close is sincerely. Do not put a comma after sincerely. We're using open punctuation, and because there's no punctuation after the salutation, we do not put punctuation after the complimentary close. Hit the Enter key 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, leaving 3 blank lines. This is where you type the writer's name, and in this case, it is Rebecca Dunworthy. Now, in addition, we typed the letter for Rebecca Dunworthy, so we're going to type our reference initials. Now, because she wrote the letter, we're going to put a capital R and a capital D. So our reference initials are a little bit different here. We put a slash, and in lowercase we write our initials. That indicates that she wrote the letter, you're typing the letter. If you just put your initials, that's okay too, but this is the recommended way in a letter. There is enclosures in this letter. The person is attaching their application and resume, letter of application and resume. So we want to note the enclosure notation. Double space below the reference initials and type enclosures. Enclosures plural because this is a letter that has more than one attachment. You've just finished your first personal business letter. Good job! An addendum. Remember I told you about the paragraph sign? I want to show you that and how it's a great tool to help to make sure that your spacing is correct. Let's take a look up on the home ribbon. We're in the paragraph group. Click the Hide Show button, which looks like a paragraph symbol. This will show you if you have good spacing. So notice that I have 4 returns at the top of my document. See my 3 blank lines between the date and the mailing address. My double space is indicated by 1 blank line. Notice I carry that through until I get to the end. And again, I have 3 blank lines between my complimentary close and the name of my writer. So these 3 blank lines at the bottom of the letter, notice how they match the 3 blank lines at the top of the letter. So feel free to use your show hide tool to check your spacing. Hope that helped.